Hey, race fans, Steve Letarte here from NBC Sports, back with another preview of the upcoming race at Phoenix. And as always, we bring in our betting, gambling. You're kind of the expert on all this. Vegas odds. We have PJ Walsh, contributor to the Action Network. Thanks for joining, PJ.
I'll take it.
I hear you. I hear you. So listen, it's hard to believe we're already 4 races into the season, but we are,
Right.
and there's a lot of news and a lot of storylines heading into Phoenix. Not only is it the 4th race, but it's the first short track. I call it a short track. 1 mile race of the year. It'll have low downforce. I think that's a big storyline, and I don't think any of us can forget that a few months from now, we will crown the champion to NASCAR at Phoenix. This is the first time we've seen the championship track be run earlier in the year. I think that's going to affect the weekend a little bit.
I think so too. Low downforce, big tire wear, new tires. It'll be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch. Even practice was exciting for me. I don't think there was a clear-cut favorite like there was a year ago with Alex Bowman. When I look down, I do have some names. But before I show my hand, why don't you show Vegas' hand? Who do they think the favorites are when it comes to odds?
Yeah, Keselowski's really the big mover. He was 12-1 yesterday and now 5-1 after practice. That's a pretty big move. To put that in perspective, Harvick, who I think everyone thinks is the true favorite, is actually 6-1. So you can tell me who you want to bet.
So he went from 12 to 5 just with practice without even qualifying.
Right, not even qualifying.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can buy that much of Brad Keselowski. My 3 favorites are actually pretty simple. I think it's 2 Joe Gibbs Racing teammates and Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. I think they looked good in practice. I expected them to be good. They backed it up in practice. And Kevin Harvick, he wasn't as good as I had hoped in practice, but I don't buy it. I think we're going to get into the race, and he's going to be better. So if those are my favorites, what do the odds say? What kind of gambling odds am I going to get on those 3 names?
Yeah, Kyle's the overwhelming favorite. He's 3-1. Like I mentioned, Harvick is 6-1. Actually, Truex is 5-1 with Hamlin, and that's interesting since Truex is going to the rear. So I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of Kez. I like Kyle. I like Harvick.
Yeah, I'm avoiding Truex. Not only are they going to the rear, but they're going to have to prove they can get 4 tires on and off a little bit smoother than they have in the first 3 weeks.
And the 30-minute practice hold yesterday. Sorry to cut you off. 30-minute practice hold when, like we said, new practice, new tires. That matters. And the practices are short.
It does matter. It does matter. So I have a couple names, though. I want to talk about some long shots because when you talk about odds, 3-1. So for the gambling novice, basically that means you bet 1 unit. You bet $1, you're going to win $3. That's not a real big return in my opinion. So how about these 3 names? Eric Almirola, William Byron, Kurt Busch. Are any of those long shots in your mind?
Byron's 20-1. It's tough to see him as a long shot. I actually like him in fantasy. First in practice, first practice, 8th and 2nd practice, I believe, if I got those right. Kurt 30-1, I really like as a sneaky bet, and Almirola 50. It's 50-1, so I mean the price is fine. You're not going to invest too much, but he's burned me a ton already this year. If you remember at Vegas, so I'll let you bet Almirola. I'll take Kurt.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take the 10 car because I didn't see it in practice. I do see it in practice at Phoenix. So those are my favorites when it comes to long shots. Well, you mentioned NASCAR Fantasy Live week in and week out. You can challenge your buddies, go on, set your fantasy lineup, set your team. I'm in 2 leagues. I'm in my Fantasy Live League here with everybody on NASCAR Fantasy Fastlane. I'm okay there. More importantly, in my NBC Sports League, I'm better, which is the real bragging one because all my coworkers I have to be good and go against. So when I look at my lineup, the 3 big favorites I have are Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. They're must-starts in my opinion. They're going to run very well. It becomes very cloudy after that, though. I have to find 2 other names. I'm leaning on Joey Logano or Kurt Busch. A little bit because I think they're both going to run decent. Their numbers at Phoenix, when it comes to Joey Logano, are pretty good. Kurt Busch's are hit or miss. But when it comes to usages, I think I want to burn Kurt here. This is a track I expect him to run well at.
Yeah, I got Kurt there too, and I actually did bet him at 30-1, so I'm on Kurt this week. I'm staying aboard the Chastain train. Just set him and forget him until Newman's back, although it looks like Newman may be back pretty soon. And last week, Reddick was my super sleeper. This week it's Custer. I'm going to have him on my Fantasy Live roster.
Oh, man, that is going to sting. Custer is not going to score you many Fantasy Live points, in my opinion. I'm staying away from Custer. My garage is either Eric Almirola or William Byron. I think William Byron is the sleeper. I don't know if I could call him a sleeper because he was fast in practice, but this is a car that I don't see me starting week in and week out. Therefore, I'm going to have some uses left with him. So I have William Byron. I do have a name on there that's a must-avoid, Martin Truex Jr. Not only are they changing an engine and going to the back of the pack, but Martin Truex Jr. can't seem to get it right on and off pit road. And you can put blame wherever you want it. The simple fact is I don't care what the blame is. I just want some points. I need fantasy points. And for that reason, I'm avoiding Martin Truex Jr.
And you only get 10 starts with him, so you may as well save him. There's going to be plenty of races where he's the favorite or among the favorites, so why even risk it?
Yeah, why even risk it is it. Interesting to see how the Chevrolets run this weekend. They ran so well in the first 2 high-speed tracks. But remember, fans at home, remember, a new aero package. It's kind of like going back a couple years at the 1 mile and smaller tracks. So really pay attention to who runs well at Phoenix. That's going to be vital information, not just here, but later in the year. Richmond, other short tracks, Dover. Who has figured out this aero package, I think, could really make a difference.
Right, I agree too. And I'm quasi interested and would like to get your take. Kez and Kyle are running the Xfinity race, same tire. Will that help them at all?
So I think it will help some, but you're talking about 2 guys that have a ton of experience. You know, I don't think that Saturdays help them for Sundays, except for when you have a big shift like the tires that we've seen here in Phoenix. I actually have one name that I don't know if I should be avoiding or be betting all in, and that's Ryan Blaney. He has not only come out of the box extremely strong, he was re-signed this week, so there's a lot of momentum in the 12-car camp. I just don't know if it was another 1.5 mile track, I would be all in on Ryan Blaney. I'm yet to be there on the short track, the 1 mile at Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's on my short list for Atlanta, for Homestead. He's done well at the intermediates, like you mentioned. What we call Auto Club a tire wear track. Atlanta and Homestead are both tire wear tracks. I'm going to lay off them this week and wait till they get back to the big tracks.
All right, so there's always options. We talk about options with drivers, but there's options for gameplay as well. If you don't find someone when it comes to Vegas odds that you want to put your hard-earned money on, you don't think that you can have the best NASCAR Fantasy Live lineup ever, the easiest way to play is go to your app store and download the NASCAR Finish Line app. It's the simplest thing in the world. There's 6 groups of drivers. You just pick one driver out of each group. The highest finishing driver receives the most points. You can actually win some cold hard cash if you somehow have the best lineup out of everybody. I've been unable to do that, but let's run through this. PJ, Group 1, big names. We have Kyle Busch, Harvick, Denny, Larson, Truex, Chase Elliott. I mean, those are some big names. Does a single name jump out?
Yeah, Kyle's the favorite, but in my mind, Harvick's still the favorite, so I'm not going to mess with success. I'm going to take him. I actually really like Chase Elliott from a betting standpoint. I bet him 12-1. He's still 12-1, so he's my best bet as of right now, but I'll take Harvick in Group 1.
Well, since I don't need odds here, I'm taking Kyle Busch. I think he's taking it on the chin for 3 weeks. Nobody's talking about the Toyotas. Nobody's talking about the 18. Kyle Busch is going to take that personal, go into a track where I think he can make up a big difference from behind the wheel. I take Kyle Busch in Group 1. Group 2, I call this the Penske group. All 3 Team Penske cars are in there. We have Kurt Busch in there. We have the 20, and we have Jimmy Johnson, old 7-time. All right, Group 2, who do you got?
I'm going with Kez. I don't necessarily buy the speed, but I don't have to bet him at 5-1. So I'll take the big mover at 5-1 when you really don't need to worry about odds. So give me Kez in Group 2. All
right, so I'm taking a strategy here of I can't beat everybody if I take the popular guy. I think Brad or Logano are the popular 2. I'm taking Kurt Busch. He's a sleeper. That is a gamble. That's a risk. But to your point, PJ, right, for me to stand out, for me to gain more points and beat other players, I need a different driver. I'm taking Kurt Busch. All right, Group 3, kind of middle of the road. I'm sticking with my potential sleepers. I'm taking the 24 and William Byron. Alex Bowman's in this group. He's a potential. I thought Eric Almirola is pretty good. Anybody jump out in Group 3?
I'm with you on Byron. He has the best odds in the group. Fastest in first practice, 8th fastest in happy hour. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Take Willie.
I like that. I like that. Group 4, you said you were really bullish on Reddick. I'm actually taking Matty D. I think he's getting a little bit of camaraderie with the group over the 21, finding some consistency. I don't think you can take any of his numbers there. He's never been in this good of equipment, so I expect him to run well out at Phoenix.
I'm actually taking Custer here. He and DiBenedetto have the best odds of the group. But I frankly think Custer was faster than Matty D in practice. And like you said with some of the earlier groups, I'm going to pivot a little bit. No one's going to have Custer, so I'm taking him.
A short race. So when you look at a rookie coming from the Xfinity Series, maybe a shorter race will help him get to the finish. Group 5, I mean, who are you going to take? The Dillon brothers or Bubba Wallace? I'm going to take Austin Dillon. I just think numbers say he's going to outrun the other ones consistently the most. And I actually think Group 6 is the easiest of the 6 groups to pick. Ryan Preece jumps off the screen at me. It's the most well-funded car. Nothing against the other drivers. I just don't think they're sitting in the equipment that Ryan Preece is sitting in. I think he's going to easily win Group 6.
Yeah, I'm taking Austin Dillon Group 5. He is the best odds of the group, and it's really not even close. And Preece in Group 6 for the reasons you mentioned. And John Hunter was probably the closest, but he's going to the rear. They changed the radiator, so give me Preece.
I like it. I like it. Well, listen, I have some guys that jumped out off practice. I had the 24, the 4 looked good, the 10 of Almirola, the 1, the 11, the 9. I think, much like PJ and myself, we've learned something off practice, but this is going to tell a lot. A brand new aero package out in the desert, a very tricky 1 mile racetrack with a brand new Goodyear tire. We race this track later in the season for the championship. All right, well, there's PJ's opinions, my thoughts on the cards. There's so many storylines, whether it's the new Goodyear tire, the new aero package, a track we're going to see for the championship. PJ, thanks for the information. It's going to be a fun weekend.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
All right, whether it's NASCAR Finish Line, whether it's a Fantasy Live, whether it's odds in Vegas, make your pick, enjoy, and more than anything, tune in 3:30 Sunday on Fox. Race for the season from Phoenix Raceway.